Warning, there will be spoilers for the Cassian Andor series finale directly following this message. If you haven't seen it yet, proceed with extreme caution. You have been warned. In the finale of the Cassian Andor series, we are given an arc involving Mon Mothma, the courageous senator struggling with the Empire, then turned rebel leader. In the Andor series, Mon Mothma is on edge due to her family's banking accounts having blank spots for transactions, something she knows will get noticed by Imperial audits. Without a real way of being able to take care of this on her own, she employs the help of an old friend, Tay Kolma. Tay Kolma will try to help Mon Mothma become elusive in order to ensure her safety. By doing this, Tay introduces her to Davos Skulden, a seedy banker with one condition: introduced Mon Mothma's daughter to Davos' son in exchange for the transaction. But what happens next is a twist in the arc none of us saw coming. If you love Star Wars as much as I do, or you're just a casual fan wanting to talk about the greatest franchise ever created, then you've come to the right place, because Star Wars is all I talk about. And I upload new content, well, whenever I can. So, if you have an interest or love for Star Wars, go on and hit that subscribe button and join this growing channel for deeper discussions, theories, and Star Wars lore. Each one of you is appreciated more than you know. From the onset of the Andor series, Mon Mothma hasn't trusted her new driver, Chloris. Yet her husband does. There's also a tension between Mon Mothma and Perrin Fartha, Mon Mothma's husband. At first, it seemed he was undermining her in the beginning of the season by inviting guests over to their home that Mon Mothma didn't agree with politically. There was a strain in their relationship. But it seemed more than that. Something along the lines of Perrin maybe secretly reporting her dealings to the Empire. As that may still be part of the tension, there's much more to it, and that's Perrin's gambling addiction. Hold on. Yes, I know it's a reformed addiction, but that would cause a wedge in a relationship long after the addict came free of it. Trust. It's about trust. While we first thought Mon Mothma was cautious of her husband and how close he was to her senatorial rivals, it stands to be mentioned that her trust in Perrin has been shaken in the past, and it reflects in the future and present. And while she is involving herself in illegal rebel activity, Mon Mothma is going to be cautious of everyone, especially the one who presumably broke her heart. And her paranoia is high, for good reason. With that bit of background, let's take a look at what's happened as a result. In the ride home from a party, Mon Mothma asks the driver for privacy. She then accuses her husband of revisiting his gambling addiction, and in no place else but right under the Empire's and her rivals' noses, where he could get discovered, exploited, and Mon Mothma's career could be ruined. At least that's the premise of her accusations. But Perrin, who wholeheartedly rebuked the claims and even asked her to question witnesses, seemed sincerely innocent of the newer claims, a reaction most addicts wouldn't have placed as their first line of defense, unless they only wanted those who were cover for them questioned. But seeing how many people were at that party, even one person saying he was gambling would ruin him, and he would know this. Yet he still says to ask anyone. Mon Mothma's accusations had no grounding, other than he had done it in the past. No, this is to cover her unaccounted for transactions from her family's account to the tune of 400,000 credits, something she can't explain away to the Empire when she will be inevitably questioned. But she can explain it away if her husband is found out to have a gambling problem. But there's a key piece to this accusation. She can't just go to the authorities with this information. She's already someone under the watchful eye of the Empire, and it would come off as insincere. No, she needs someone to overhear it and report it as a third party. That's where Mon Mothma's driver comes into play. As I said, she was untrusting of the new driver Chloris as it was. So she knew that if she asked for privacy, her husband wouldn't give it a second thought, but there would really be no privacy. That whatever they talked about in the back seat would be relayed to the ISB, and her bet was right. See what I did there? Gambling humor. But this move leaves us questioning the final scene with Mon Mothma. Now she has a scapegoat for the missing funds. Then the funds shouldn't need to be replaced, right? Her husband, Perrin, would get accused, and by her discovering his addiction, she won't be questioned for the missing funds, and she would be seen as an abused woman as her husband stole from their funds to feed his addiction, thus also saving her career. And it even has the potential to boost her ratings as a senator. How dare this dirty man betray his loving wife in this way? At least that's what sometimes happens in our own world. Maybe the Star Wars universe is different. With a patriarch ruling the entire galaxy, it very well could be different. But the fact remains, her tracks are now covered, and we even see the ISB supervisor, Krieger, tell the informant as much. So why do we get that scene at the end? The scene with her bringing her daughter to Davos Sculdun's son. So we know the deal stands still. If she allows the introduction, then Davo puts the money into the account and covers up how it got there. Thus, the introduction is given, but we are left at that. But look at Mon Mothma's daughter's expression during this scene. She's pleased, as is her husband Perrin. We don't know the conversation Mon Mothma and her family had prior to this event, but it doesn't look like it was a stressful talk. But what do we know? Well, we know that Leda, Mon Mothma's daughter, is very much into the old ways of Chandrillan culture. We are shown this in the previous episode, episode 11, and we weren't shown this for no reason at all. If Leda is into the old customs and religions, then this is something she would very much want at that moment. By giving in to Leda's obsession with the old Chandrillan ways, this would be a way to get back on the good side of her daughter, and also have the funds available to replace in the account, if need be. But what Mon Mothma doesn't know just yet, or we assume she doesn't know, is that the Empire is already looking into the missing funds. But for now, they are satisfied with the gambling husband revelation, so she is covering all bases on her own, while at the same time making her daughter happy and trying to bring Leda closer to her, all while saving her career and her family. While gambling isn't illegal in the Empire, if it were, Canto Bight would not be in operation. It gets the Empire and ISB off Mon Mothma's back. Yes, I've said in the past that the discrepancy in her funds may cause her exile from the Imperial Senate, and Mon Mothma becomes the fugitive we see in Star Wars Rebels. But with this new information, it's very much likely Mon Mothma will continue to be a part of the Senate for another 3 years, thus sticking with the Gorman Massacre disapproval continuity that forced Mon Mothma into hiding. Yay, Star Wars continuity is saved. A lot of this is pure speculation on my part, using clues left behind in the first season of Star Wars Andor, but I'm sure we don't have all the information yet, and I could be wrong. By the way, just because I'm wrong from time to time doesn't mean I get upset about it. Like I said, we don't always have the full story. Not one YouTuber out there or Star Wars theorist is right 100% of the time, and that goes for those who were saying Marva Andor was faking her death. We use the clues given in that moment, and that's part of the fun, trying to piece together a puzzle with only half the pieces. But that's the fun in Star Wars, making up your own stories until you're either proven wrong or right, or it's never even revealed later on, leaving us in our own little Star Wars bubble. The ones who get upset about being wrong are the ones you should try to bring back to reality. Me, I don't care either way. If you have any other theories about Mon Mothma, her daughter Leda, or her husband Perrin, please don't hesitate to leave a comment and we will discuss it, or anything about the Andor series, really. This is Gerald, a Star Wars fanatic, signing off, wishing you all great health, happiness, and peace. Be good to each other. Thank you for watching, and remember, this is the way, and positivity in the Star Wars community is the only way.